Coming up next on SC Live, we're crossing over into the film world with actor, writer, and director Mr. Ron Williams. Stay tuned, the half hour is his. Coming up next on SC Live. Welcome back to SC Live. I'm your host, Shari Carew, and I'm here with the man of the hour, Mr. Ron Williams. It's not even an hour because it's the half-hour show. He's here to talk to us about his great new film, The Crossover. Ron, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Ron, let's talk a little bit about the films that you've directed. Now, I saw The Crossover, and I saw The Final Hour.
Okay.
Awesome movies, by the way. Now, for those who may have not seen them, can you give us a brief overview of the two?
Of the two, okay. Well, we'll go with Final Hour first. Final Hour was, that was actually my first short film, and which was actually the company's first film. We shot it way back, oh my gosh.
What year?
If I let my son tell it, it's ancient years, but for me it was 2005, and we shot it in 30 days. And I did it for some kids who wanted to have something for Halloween.
Okay.
And I'm just new to this thing and just jumping at the bit to just jump in and do something, and I jumped right into something that would take me, what should have taken a year or two with one-man crew.
In 30 days.
I did in 30 days, which equated to probably about 6 hours sleep for the month of September.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that was great.
And did this one take a little longer than 30 days to construct?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
This one kind of came out of nowhere. I was getting ready to do pre-production on another project that we had finished.
Okay.
And I had already called people up and said, hey, let's start auditioning. And I called up someone who I thought would have been perfect for the lead. And one guy from one of our productions came up to me and said, we never did get closure on a stage play that we did.
Right.
Because we actually started off doing stage plays years back. And I said, well, what stage play was that? And he brought up this play featuring a character who kind of made a life-altering choice that ended with a to be continued. And we totally forgot.
Oh, wow.
We were doing these stage plays, and we were doing them at a rapid pace, so we totally forgot. And as he mentioned that, in my mind, I started to play back that, and I started to play the end of that stage play, but in film form. So I just sat down and started jotting down, the end. And in my mind, whenever I get an end, I have to go with the project. I like to work in reverse. If I see the end, then I like to work back to the beginning.
Okay, that's different.
So when I get the end, I know, okay, this is probably going to be the next one. So unfortunately, I had to call everybody up. In about 2 days, wrote up the script. They called everybody up who was set to do this other project and go, you know what, I'm not doing it right now.
Not going to happen.
I've got this film called The Crossover. And so when I say from the end to the beginning, I mean all the way from end to title, because normally I just go with working title or cinema project or something like that. So, because I never really have the title until it's all done. Right. Got it all the way to the to the title itself. And so that's how we gave birth to The Crossover. And let me see what I can tell people, because I do want people to check it out.
Exactly. So not too much, but just enough.
Just a taste. Yeah. Maybe a taste of The Crossover. Deals primarily with a kid who does make the life-altering decisions, so we kind of pick up there. And we see how his decision affects decisions of those around him. Okay. Sort of like the domino effect. What's on your mind?
All right. I feel like I'm working with police officers who don't quite got it yet. Okay. All right. On one hand, there's a detective who lies to his wife and has a gambling problem. On the other, there's a detective who pays CIs with evidence from another case. Now, I don't think it's ethical, nor should it be tolerated.
That's it? That's what's bothering you? Wow. Tell me something. How many times a day you click your heels and wish you were back home?
I'm huge on inspiration, like what drives people when it comes to their passions. So what would you say would be your inspiration behind the films that you produce in general?
Well, it's sort of an evolving thing. First, it was just working, from the working, and once you've gotten into that and you see what it's like and you have work, it then goes into, purpose. Why do you want to make films? And I go back to when I was a kid and just sitting around a campfire and having this guy tell me stories. I think there was no greater feeling than being at that moment with that fire blazing and having this camp counselor tell us horror stories. And I still remember all the stories that they told us.
So did you kind of aspire to be that person?
I did. And I do every time I tell the story. I have a lot more that goes into what we do and why I go out, but that's it right there for the entertainment value. I want to be able to get everything set right and then tell you a great story that you'll never forget.
Right.
But I think also what we do is we want to make these authentic kind of films, these authentic films for authentic people. That's sort of like our motto, if we have one, at Raw Cinema. We want to make films for people who want to see things that are, not given, or that are definitely given to truth, and kind of liking to be different. And hopefully what we do will help people, because I think so we benefit greatly when people can watch a film and see, one, that they're not alone, two, that there are solutions,
right,
and three, that no matter what, your mind should never totally relax when you go to a movie. You want to go in, learn something that you can equate to your life or put into practice, maybe in someone else's, but you just want to keep that thing going. Nothing against the big blockbuster films.
Right.
I think there's a time and place for those, but for us, we want to be that engine that sort of says, keep going, keep the wheels turning, because there's something out there for everybody.
What would you say, or if you could, say what your target audiences would be? What would that look like? That's
a interesting question. I want to say tough. It used to be tough. In the beginning, we struggled because we thought that we had to cater towards church audiences. I wrestled with that a whole lot in terms of trying to get free from it. But I just didn't know how to tell the story. And then one day it hit me. Tell the story the same way that Jesus told stories. Look at the content and the message that he told. They weren't happy stories.
Right.
They were gritty stories that people can relate to. Not necessarily true. They were stories that people could relate to in their time frame.
Right.
They talked about kings and talked about starving, talked about dying and weddings and all that kind of stuff that we sort of avoid. And I'm going, well, his message wasn't to people in the church. It was to people who had ear to listen.
Right.
And that's sort of like the way we go. If you have ear, here it is. If you have need, here it is.
Right.
We can tell a story to a 6-year-old or a 60-year-old. We can tell a story to anyone who has ear or desire to want to come see the film. So.
Which is good. It's good that different age groups and I guess people in different walks of life can relate to a movie. I think it's really important.
Yeah, we're talking life lessons. So when we're talking life lessons, everybody has something that they feel they need help with. And hopefully we can pull that when we hit them in the film.
That kind of leads me to the next question. Whether you find it a difficult line at times to straddle when you're, making these films, when it comes to, I guess, what angles you want to go with and concepts and.
Well, first you have to get this in your mind. Some of the people, some of the time.
Right.
But never all the people all the time. Understand that, and then you'll go about doing whatever it is you're going to do in life without tiptoeing or without sort of walking on eggshells. So I feel like when I get a story, I'm to tell the story the way that I got it.
Okay.
And if in fact something does leave you scratching your head at the end, well, that's what it did. We can't always determine how things will end. I
think it's a good thing. I think if you completely understand a movie at the end, then maybe in some aspects the director didn't do his job completely. I think you should be left with questions and,
That's an excellent point. We got to get you on our team start right now. No, because here's the thing. Most of the time you walk into a movie and you know exactly what you're going to get, whether it's a love story, whether it's an action movie, but you know exactly how it plays out. The good guy's going to win, or the guy and the girl, no matter how far apart they are, they're going to find a way to fall in love. You know that. The fun is finding a unique way to keep you entertained and keep you suspended in your reality throughout the duration of the project or the film. But then you have those films where you're going, I don't know how this is going to play out. And that's where I like to live.
Right.
Because the predictable is kind of easy, but
Right.
our lives, each person's life is authentic.
Right.
Very different from the next. And we don't necessarily know if it's going to end good or bad. We don't know if the guy's going to get the girl. We don't know that. We like to tell people that, but we don't know it. So the best thing we can do is live it out and see how this thing unfolds.
Right.
Maybe watch mistakes that were made that maybe caused them not to get it. Maybe just realizing that this just wasn't meant to be.
Right.
So that's where we like to live. Authentic. You can still suspend your sense of reality and yet come away with a lesson.
Right.
So but we're not teaching anything. We're just, kind of guiding you, showing you, you know what, you're not alone.
Right.
So, and I think it kind of gives you hope to know that the fairy tale ending isn't always the ending, but the ending that you get is generally going to be the better one for you in your lifestyle, provided you do what you believe is right.
Right.
So, even if it ends in death for many people, and that's a tough pill for me to swallow, but even if it ends in death, it's probably better to do what you believe is right.
Yeah.
Believe in something than to live for nothing.
I like that. Yeah. Did you coin that?
I think I just did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll go Google it.
I've heard
I hope
it
it's
about
not.
a million times in many different
Oh,
ways,
okay.
so.
All right. Okay. So you've been doing film for about, 16 years now?
Ooh, my gosh, I hope not. Because my 16-year mark, I had a whole lot more planned on my...
Oh.
No, actually been 12. So it's been 12 years. And
I suck.
No, you're... Please.
Where did I get 16 from?
61.
That's a little gap. Okay.
It's a 4-year difference.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
Okay.
Hey, I mean...
But take it as a compliment.
It feels like 20.
Does it?
How about that? It feels like 20 years. I give you
Okay.
that.
So even 12, and doing this for 12 years, what would you say has been, I guess, one of the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome?
Ooh. Well, I won't go with the obvious one, which is always money. When you're doing independent film, money is always the easy answer. So I won't go with money.
You're gonna.
I won't go there. I'm going to go with waiting for that opportunity.
Okay.
Waiting for that sort of, a guy I used to work with times before, independent guy, he said that, he feels like he's always sitting under a tree and there's fruit.
Okay.
And it's hanging in the sky from the branches. He can see the light hit that thing, and as it hits, you can see it move a bit, and he feels like, in his mind, that fruit is ripe. But the tree is positioned in such a way you can't jump up and grab it, you can't climb it, you have to wait.
Patience.
Because the moment it hits the ground, then you kind of lose a little bit of, that perfect value.
Right.
So he's waiting for that right moment for some fruit to fall. And that is the toughest part. You're waiting. I mean, you go through, you work hard, you put a project out, and that opportunity has not yet presented itself for you to really, really excel and do this, with everything you got just without even having to do anything else. And that's the tough part.
Right.
We're driving, we're striving, we're working hard, and we're hoping this project is the one that puts us on the map, and we're still off the map. And we're like, okay, one more. Okay, not this one. Okay. So that's the thing.
You don't ever want to wonder how great you could have been.
I don't think we as individuals can actually say we've earned the right to quit.
Right.
If we believe we've been given something, we have to see it through, regardless of the success or failure in our mind.
Right.
Because people are always watching. And for myself, I believe that God has given me something. Who am I to tell him, no, I'm done, I don't want to do anymore?
Right.
And then expect him to continue to give wonderful things to my life. No. The very thing that you gave me to do, I said, no, I'm not going to do. So bless me anyway. No, I'd be thankful just to still be alive, because this is what I've been given to do, good or bad. It's like a marriage. You stay with it, and you're in it because you vowed to do it. this is your gift. You want it, you got it, go with it. Whether you take it as far as you want to go in your mind or not doesn't matter. You take it as far as you have life in your body to take it. And at that point, when you are no longer with warm blood or blood in your veins, I think it's warm blood. I'm not sure. When blood's
Just
no longer
one.
flowing in your veins, then the next chapter opens.
That's a really awesome place to be. I think because it's inspiring. Because when you see someone with that much passion and drive about what they do, you know, it pulls people around you to be the same way, which I think is really important. How do people, I guess, respond? Let's take it a little more personal, like family-wise. You know, when it comes to what you're doing right now, are they pretty supportive? And
that is the biggest gift that I have. My family, hugely supportive. We're very supportive of one another because we have to be.
That's awesome.
I mean, where else are you gonna go? Home unit is. First off, it's your place to recharge from the stress and pressures of the world. But second, that's your safety net. That's where you go and say, hey, you know, I need a hug. And you get that hug. Oh, I need uplifting, and you get that uplifting. Or I need to be brought down a peg or two.
And I'm sure they do that too.
My wife is wonderful. When it comes down to bringing you down, she can swing out the axe with both hands and hit it with a blindfold, slide into it. Because what she's not gonna do is allow me to overinflate myself and then come crashing down. Pride is a horrible thing to come crashing down from, and so we're not gonna do that. And vice versa. I'm allowed to do that should she ever decide that she wants to get full, which I don't even know I can recognize in her because I've never seen her full of anything except, you know, love and support.
That's awesome.
Hey, baby.
And you have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids, and they sit up late at night when I'm sitting there editing. Daddy's editing this video, and my daughter will come in and say, try this here. Or maybe, you know, color correct that because that shirt's not right. And my son will go, you know, when you put that DVD together, scene selection. He put me on blast. The very first time I showed Final Hour. Oh, wow. We took this thing, showed it to some people, and it was a rough cut. I mean, I put the thing together and just showed it to some people in the cast and see what it looked like to them. And they missed something, and so my son goes, well, just go to scene selection. And I go, I didn't put a scene selection in this. And at this point, he's like 4. And he goes, who puts a DVD together without scene selection? I'm like, okay.
That is awesome. That's so funny.
I'll beat his tail later. But
but it helped you out. It's important to have family like that.
You gotta encourage your kids.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta encourage your kids when they, you know, they're trying their hand at something, they're putting out a suggestion. You can't just, you know, no, I mean, yeah, I mean that's a great thing. So,
do any of them like aspire to be just like Daddy, or?
Probably not. No, probably not. My daughter's got a mind of her own. My son, he's a kid, typical kid. He's out there feeling around, but he does know what he wants to do. He wants to go work in a specific place, and he's got it all laid out. And
oh, excuse me. How old is he?
He's 12.
Oh, wow.
In July. So.
Wow.
But, yeah,
I wish I was that dedicated at that age.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just my wife and I just getting them set on setting goals. And even if that's not what you're going to do, at least you're in the practice of setting goals and laying out the steps that you're going to take to get to those goals. So
awesome. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the future of Raw Cinema.
Future of Raw Cinema.
Yes. What do you envision for the company? And then we'll talk a little bit about projects.
For the company, you know, for me, I just want to make sure that we're out there continuing to stay true to our purpose, which is to make authentic films for authentic people, authentic films for authentic people, not those people that I just mentioned. I don't know what that is.
Right. Me either, but hey, let's keep going.
You're not helping at all. No, integrity is important to us. And if we say this is the kind of film we're going to make, then that's the film we have to make, regardless of when that moment comes, or it comes while I'm alive, or when someone else is taking over. That be the overall goal, to stay true to the independent nature of our film company, to make authentic films for authentic people, and just to continue to build upon that, build upon the inspiration that got us to where we are. Once we got a base of people who have come in and say, this is what we like, then we're not going to shift out. We've heard a lot of people who've done that, and they get that big day or that moment that fruit falls, and then they go completely the
opposite direction, right?
Money will never drive us, and I'm saying that now. Money will never drive us. That may frustrate a lot of people, but I think we have a higher duty to tell these stories that people can always relate to than to cash in a huge payday for a project we do not believe in.
Awesome.
So Rustin will always, as long as I'm alive. And if I'm not alive, I'm going to ask permission to come back from having to burn it down because it is not what I saw.
Right.
But yeah, that plus we are committed also to online projects. Right now, yes, we're strictly online. I can't guarantee in the future that we'll always be online.
Right.
I know that I want to be, and I really do feel passionate about online.
Online. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Why online? Why'd you choose that route?
Oh man, there's so much to it in terms of the financial aspect, in terms of availability, and also in terms of environmental aspects. Not that we have the greenest thumb in the business, but we do believe that we have a responsibility to take care of what we've been given for the next generation. And partnering with these great online companies now, like Fans of Film, these people have a tremendously wonderful database of films, good films, something that you can't necessarily see in the box office because of the competitiveness of the box office. You get a couple of weeks in, and if you're not number one throughout, then you're going to gradually see yourself kicked out. We want to make sure that people can actually see the film, enjoy the film, come back, watch it again a few times.
Awesome.
And I think primarily affordability. When I say financial, I mean it's good on our side. It's also good on the side of those families. When I was a kid, I used to go to the movies, and I can go for about $3 on a Friday and see 3 movies Friday night. And then on a Saturday, go back and do the exact same thing again for like $1.75 at another theater.
Right. What year was this?
Yeah. When I got older, I used my school ID from college, and we would get a discount for that.
Which you can't even use anymore.
That brings us to the present.
Blower.
Present day movies are about $11.50, and my kids get in for a whopping 7 something. And I'm like 7 something. Do you know how many movies I would watch on a Saturday for 7 something? So, granted, prices do go up, but I don't believe that you have to pay $100 to get in. Because once you get the tickets, I mean, I was like $50 for my wife and kids. We recently went to the movies. $50 just for the tickets.
Right.
Don't nobody dare ask me for no nachos, no popcorn, or no, because then you're looking at $100.
Right.
$100 to see a movie. I think that's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
It is.
And some people, not me, have even decided to just bring their own snacks. Along. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but
so
sometimes you just
because they have seen you on camera and they got you. They got you. I saw it. But my thing is, that's not necessary. Families should be able to come together, see a good film, maybe and sit down in their homes, a couple of bucks, watch a movie, take your own food, and it's not overpriced. 99 cents for some popcorn, 79 cents for some nachos. You can enjoy a meal, watch the movie, all for well under the price of 2 tickets. I think that is ideal for a family. Yeah. It's not just because this is a recessionary time. This is because it shouldn't cost that much. Right. Okay, it really shouldn't cost that much. Seriously, if I spend $100 on a movie and it stunk, that's my whole weekend. Oh my gosh. So hey.
I can imagine going to the movies with you. Interesting.
Oh yeah,
No.
I don't. Oh my gosh. Now that you were talking about family units, kind of not supporting.
Oh man.
I'm a little tough on film. Yeah. I'm a tough on film because I'm tough on money, and if I have to pay a lot of money for something, that kind of raises the value.
Right. Completely understandable. On the same page. Okay, so for those who haven't seen your movies or who would like to catch up, yes. Is there a website? Where can they go?
Oh, you better believe it. There is a website. Right now, if you want to see our films, which I'm hoping you do, I don't like to say www. I grew up with a tech background. Okay. You don't have to do that anymore. It's maxcast.com. It'll probably show up at the bottom if her crew does their job right. Maxcast.com.
Crew?
Facebook.com/Raw Cinema. Our films are there. Well, at least one right now. I take that back. We have one film there now. We're going to put a couple more there pretty soon. And we also have them at Amazon and a few other spots.
Okay.
Maxcast.com/Raw Cinema is a spot to see it. Buffer free, beautiful site. Recommended again by fans of film. By the way, just phenomenal films over at Fans of Film. You want to talk about just independent spirit, just tearing up the chart. That's
What's the name again?
It's called Fansoffilm.com.
Fansoffilm.com.
Fansoffilm.com. I love going over there, and I love, just being able to. I met these people on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just.
Which is the awesome networking place, by the way.
Awesome networking. Oh, by the way, if you wanted to find out about us, we're on Facebook, and we're on all those major places.
All those major places. So Ron, what does Raw Cinema have future-wise? What are we looking at project-wise?
Well, right now, get to MaxCast and see Crossover.
Okay.
But we do have another film that we are getting ready to work on.
Do we have a name? Do we have a
Untitled Raw Cinema Project? So you can't put the name.
Oh man!
You put the name out there, and then next week on the website, your title is just shot. I mean, it's just untitled.
Do you have any little leeway into what it may be for those who are dying to know?
A film about there's some people and some things.
Okay.
And these people and things sort of coincide.
Okay.
And form an event.
Watching it.
There we go.
Watching it.
If only they would buy that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, wow, if I could sell a script that fast, that'd be
Ron, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing your story, and we will be looking out for you and your company, and I just wish you the best of luck.
Hey, Matt, same with you. I remember where you were, and this is a phenomenal upgrade.
It's nice, right?
I'm just glad you didn't show any clips of my old work when I was, in my acting track days, because
that is a phenomenal idea.
Yeah.
Can we get that?
Well, it's been great.
Yes?
Let's say goodbye.
Thank you for joining me today for our show. I hope you guys had a great time, and we will see you next time. This is SC Live. Stay blessed.